So this is it as we look at Hawaii Island. The boat's going past the majestic mountains towards Sveti Stefan over there. Beautiful hotel resort which you can get if you're a rich millionaire. The boat's in the harbour. My beach, I call it my beach because there it is with all the people on it. It rained last night, which was weird, that's why the ground's wet. And there's the old town there with the citadel right by here, which you can go in for about 10 euros. And some person on the other side. How he got there, I do not know. He must have gone through the wall. Good luck to him on getting back. Anyway, this is it. Last day here. So what's it like living here? It's okay. I quite like living here. There's some good bits and some bad bits. So the first bit is if you're coming here and you're thinking it's cheap as chips, it's not. It is not cheap here. It was cheaper in May when there was no one here. Once we got to June, it wasn't cheap anymore. In July, it's got even more expensive and more busy. And even though I don't mind busy things, there's no expat community here. So if you want to try and make friends, you make friends with the tourists. But here's the problem with that, and I found this out in Ohrid. They're here for 1 week, they leave. Then the next lot comes in. It's like a conveyor belt every week. One person comes in, one person leaves. One person comes in, one person leaves. And then what happens is that you end up having the same conversations with the same people, or different people, sorry, every week. I think I've met about 7 locals here. Some of those have been in the gym. Some of those have been like working as waitresses. Some of them been working in the vape shop. But it's quite difficult to meet locals here because everyone's a tourist. So it's either they're from Serbia, Russia, Britain, Norway, Germany. They seem to be the most popular ones that come here. The next thing is that the prices have gone up 25% since May. So in May, my weekly shopping was 25 euros. In May, with less items, it was 45. So it's gone up nearly double. And that's the main thing. Even the prices of beer have gone up because beer was quite cheap here. It was 4 euros, now it's 5. It's still pretty cheap compared to London prices, but still. Anyone who thinks you're going to be able to do this on a dawdle is lying. For myself, personally, it's been a case of reflection after a difficult year last year, and the year before, and the year before that, and the year before that. In fact, it was a couple of years which weren't great. And I was looking at it and going, I am trying to sort out multiple problems. I can't sort out multiple problems. I have to pick one, deal with that first, and then get on with the rest. So that's why I'm going Skopje, Thessaloniki, Kutaisi, because my research will be in Kutaisi. It makes sense to be there. I can get better access to people. So that's coming up next month, actually. It's not that far away. I've got 3 weeks in Skopje. I've been there before, multiple times. I know people there. I know Goran, who's one of my best friends. So that's not really an issue. And I'm not in the stage of my life now where I have FOMO. So that's going to be fun. And then from there, we'll go Thessaloniki, 1 or 2 days. I've seen that place 6 times as well. And it's much more expensive in the summer than it is in the winter. And after that, we'll fly to Kutaisi, set up camp there, do the research until October, which is when the thesis is done. And then after October, we'll come back here around November time, I think. And then I'll go back to Britain for December, January, maybe February, and then we'll have to see. If I get a job, perfect. But that won't be in the UK. That is a red line. That's a red line. But I'm open to working anywhere else, especially if it's something like this. I mean, this is just fantastic. Look at that. I mean, you cannot beat that and that every day. Think of waking up with that. So yeah, it's been a eye-opening experience. It's something I needed to do. I'm really happy to have come here, and I will miss it. And this will not be the same after today. And next up is an 11-hour, 45-minute bus ride. Oh, and a big thank you to Boris, because he's been a legend. And if you're in Budva, stay with Boris. And Pesha, he's a legend as well, because he gave me some rakia. So he's a legend. Look at that old clock tower as well before we go. So yeah, we're going to head to the bus station 8 o'clock tonight. My bus is 8:13, get in at 7:30, and then it's a long walk to where I'm staying. So yeah, see you in Skopje. It'll be much different to this.